All right, good morning, traders and visitors. This is our open house today and tomorrow. I start the day off at 8 o'clock every morning. I start off with the morning market conditions and analysis. My name is John Carrigan. I moderate the BYOB trading room. Today is March 27, 2024. Thank you for being here. Warm welcome to our open house guests. My SPY pivot this morning. 521.50 above it, I'm a bull, below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab Five. Who are the Fab Five? That's the SPY. That'd be the S&P 500. IWM, that would be Russell 2000. DIA, that'd be Diamond Dow 30. And we got FNGU, that is the probably the high cap stocks in the NASDAQ and SPY. QQQ, which is the NASDAQ. Okay, so all of the Fab Five are in uptrends. All right. All made, okay, SPY, IWM, Diamond Dow, all made higher highs and lower lows while closing inside the bullish trap. Bullish trap is the 3 EMA on top of the 8 EMA. Okay, that would be a bullish trap on the daily chart. So they all closed inside the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. That's the exponential moving average, the 17-day or the 17-period exponential moving average. FNGU, QQQ made higher highs and higher lows while also closing inside bullish traps over the rising 17 EMAs. Gold still in an uptrend, made a higher high and a higher low while closing above the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA, while silver in an uptrend made a lower high and a lower low, closing below the bearish trap on top of the rising 17 EMA. So it was just right on top of it. USO also in an uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside the bullish trap above the rising 17 EMA. UNG, different story here. This is the only one that's in a downtrend. All right, made a lower high and a lower low, closed below the bearish trap and below the 17 EMA. US dollar index now in an uptrend, closed the day around the 104.20 area above the flat 200 SMA. All right, that's simple period moving average. All right, so let's go take a look at some charts. All right, first chart we're going to look at is SPY. This is my favorite chart to trade. Right here, SPY. It's comes right off of the S&P 500 ETF. All right, so yesterday's price action candle, this is today's, this gray one. Yesterday made a higher high and a lower low. We came right down into this rising EMA right there, and looks like we got a nice bounce off of that. Okay, so this is still in an uptrend, right? It's making higher highs and it's still making higher lows. So S&P still in an uptrend. So how do I get my pivot in the morning? So I go down to my 10-minute chart because I want to find a pivot in the morning. And I find the spot that looks to me like they have a lot of, they're telling me it's an important number. So for me, my pivot really could have been about 521.05. I could like move this up just a little bit. You can see right there. You can see this is price action telling you that it's it's coming down to this and it's coming up to it. So it could have easily have been 21.05, but I want to include this that happened yesterday. So I put my pivot right up there, okay? Because if we break above this area right here, we're going higher. Right there, okay? We can always go up and test the breakdown candle. This would be the breakdown candle right here. That's the beginning of the breakdown move that we had yesterday. See the red candle right there? And then you got to fly down, and then you got an H pattern rollover right there. So you come down, back up, and then roll over with a big steep drop. All right, so my SPY pivot, because we could just as easily, and look where we were today, all right, in the pre-market. we came all the way up to my number. 521, well, 521.40, mine's 521.50, which is a little bit higher, right about on top of that, right there. Okay, so you can see where price action came up to, and now it's floating around. Now, if it gets bullish up here, and we hang out up here too long today, this morning, we could break up even higher. So we'll see what happens, all right? So that's my SPY pivot, 521.50, above it I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. That's how I get it every morning. I find the spot in common. This is the way of the market telling you that this price or this area is important to them. That's an important number. So that's how I get my market morning pivot for the SPY every morning. It's the only one I post is the SPY. I don't do the QQQ or the FNGU. All right. So let's go take a look at more daily charts. Let's start off with QQQ. All right. So here's QQQ on the daily chart. You know, just like the script said, higher low, higher high, closing inside the bullish trap. Bullish trap is this 3. My yellow line is the 3 EMA. The white line is the 8 EMA. When the 3 is on top of the 8, I have a bullish trap. When the 3 is below the 8, that is a bearish trap. Okay? This is the 17 EMA. Instead of being a line, it comes as dots. All right. Now, if price is below the 17 EMA, it will change the color of the dot to red. If price is above the 17 EMA, when it closes, it will change the dot to green. So it goes from red to green based on where the candle closes. All right, so this is in an uptrend. You can see if I back way out, okay, that's an uptrend. If you don't know what an uptrend is, this is an uptrend. It makes a series of higher lows and higher highs, and higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so that is an uptrend. All right, so let's take a look at IWM. Okay, now this is our small caps and mid caps. Again, this is an uptrend. Started here and it's moving higher. Okay, so yesterday's price action got a higher high and a lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. You can see we draw a nice little trend line in there. Price is above the trend line. What is a trend line? To me, a trend line is nothing more than diagonal support. All right, or resistance, depending upon which side you're on. All right, so as price comes down, watch how it reacts. It bounces off of it and makes a new high. It acts just like horizontal support. Okay, you see price come into horizontal support and bounces up and makes a new high. Trend lines typically act like diagonal support. Price comes into them and then bounces up and challenges the most recent high. So that's what a trend line does for me. I watch it. I like to buy near trend lines when the bulls step in. So here's IWM closing bullishly. This is in an uptrend. Okay. Inside the bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. Okay, so now here's next one is FNGU. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones to watch because inside the FNGU there's only, it's an ETN, there's only 10 of the big cap stocks inside of it. All right, it's only 10, and most of those 10, I think 8 or 9 of those 10. Are some of the most heavily weighted stocks or securities in the QQQ and the SPY. So typically, wherever the FNGU goes, the QQQ is sure to follow. All right, the SPY is 500 securities, while QQQ is only 100 securities, around the 100. So whenever the FNGU, you can see it has a bigger footprint inside the QQQ than it does the SPY, but they're still so heavily weighted inside the SPY that typically wherever the FNGU goes, the SPY also follows along with it. Not just not quite as strongly as it would in the QQQ. All right, so FNGU, this is one of my favorite ones to watch. This helps me find market direction day after day after day. All right, so I watch this almost around the clock. Yesterday's price action for the FNGU. Okay, we got a lower high and a higher, we got a higher high and a higher low, closing inside a bullish trap, 3 on top of the 8, over a rising 17 EMA. Okay, so what do we got up here? We've got some resistance that we've been running into. You can see it right about here. See where those, we keep bumping into it, come back up into it, bump into it. Now it looks like we're wedging. If we don't get above this through this wedge, there's a good chance this could roll over. So we'll see what happens. All right, so getting a move up. We had a move up yesterday and we came down. Came back down to the 8 EMA. We've already broken the 8 and the 17 once. So this time I think we're probably going to be heading for the 50. So this is FNGU. So I did IWM. I did, last one is Diamond Dow. All right, so here's Diamond Dow. This is yesterday's price action candle. Higher high, lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. So everything, so all of the Fab 5, all in uptrends. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. Okay, this is one of my favorite technicals to watch because I'm an intraday trader. I keep it on a 15-minute chart. Okay, if you look into this technicals, here we are. We made a lower high. We were knocking on the door. Okay, the bulls were knocking on the doors to get into the buy zone, but the bears wouldn't open the door. All right, so we knocked on the door to get into the buy zone. Just couldn't happen. From there, we started making lower highs and lower highs, and then as you can see, we got another lower high here, and then price just dropped down into here. Okay, so this is the buyer's chop zone. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, this is my overbought zone, buy zone, buyer's chop zone, seller's chop zone, sell zone, and the oversold zone. So right now, we're just going to be probably chopping around today in the buyer's chop zone. We'll see how far they gap it up this morning. We did get quite a pop overnight. We'll see what happens. So there's T2122. Like to see this in the buy zone. Like to see it there. Doesn't necessarily have to be there for me to take a trade, but I'd like to see it in the buy zone. T2123. All right. This measures all the stocks. This will be all 7,000 stocks in the NYSE. You can see we bumped up yesterday, and I've got the 17 EMA colored dots on there. So you can see we were bullish, and then we rolled over. All right. Nice thing about T2123, we didn't make a lower low. We actually made a higher low right there. Okay. And did we make a higher high? Not quite. We challenged the previous high, but didn't quite make a higher high. Okay, so we got bullish, just kind of bull flagged right through there. Let's take a look at T2123 on the 3-bar chart. Okay, this is the all-time high for the T2123. Okay, 634.905. That was made back in November of 2021, right after the post-COVID rally, right through there. Okay, so that was a whole lot of healthcare stocks that really helped get that thing up there. All right, I don't expect healthcare to have a big impact this time. This one was primarily led by technology. All right, so here's the last move on the 3-bar chart. You can see it goes up, and we bull flag over. All right, so there's a good chance from here up to here, we make another measured move right up to here. We'll see what happens. All right, so there's T2123. Looking for a measured move. Let's box it off. Just see what happens. Let's just measure it because I just like to do that. All right, so there's the top of our bull flag. All right, and then just duplicate that. Try it again. And kind of stack it in underneath here. Oh yeah, if we get a measured move, we're going to be up there and we're going to make new all-time highs. If we get that measured move, I can see it happening already. All right, so there's T21 in a bull flag formation right now. T21.23, okay? So my other one I like to watch is the FNGU. All right, so I like to see, is it green? Because if it's green, I'm going to look for opportunities to buy in the SPY. All right, when it turns red, kind of want to like reserve, hold tight, and then when it starts dropping down like that, then I'm looking for opportunities to sell. Okay, so here's FNGU pulling back to a rising 200 SMA. All right, so we'll see where that goes today. Right now, they have moved up. And let's just put the quad lines in there. Let me tell you, this is why I love TC2000. If you don't, I mean, I hope you have it on your platforms. I'm not familiar with Thinkorswim. I'm not familiar with TradeView or DAS or any of the other ones, okay? But I just love the way I can just drag a tool and put it to work within seconds. So this tells me the midpoint right away. So here's FNGU, okay? And we're already back at the midpoint from the overnight low right there. All right, so, and this is the one I like to watch. This is the FNGU. This is the heavyweights in the SPY and the QQQ. They tend to lead the market around. Kind of like, let's say the market is on a leash. Well, FNGU would be the handler, okay? So we're already back, leaning on the door, knocking on the door at the midpoint. There's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. And you can see green up and then a rollover for red. And you can see right now, ever since we put in that tail down there, all right, it's been green all day. And we're knocking on the door at the midpoint. All right, so let's go take a look back at some other charts, all right? First one, USO. All right, so here's USO. This would be petroleum crude oil. All right, it's definitely in an uptrend. Okay, you can see yesterday's price action. I don't have my script with me. Lower high, lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. See the dots rising up? That's our 17 EMA. Over the uptrend, see the diagonal line? This would be diagonal support. Okay, so there's USO, daily chart, closing inside a bullish trap over rising 17 EMA. All right, so let's take a look at UNG. Not the same look, just a warning. All right, so here's UNG, lower high, lower low, closing below a bearish trap, below a falling 17 EMA. Now back here on the 20th of February, that was an all-time low for UNG. Okay, they've never been that low. All right, and you can see where are we now? We're going to be testing those lows today. You can see price action. See this gray candle? I'll just put a horizontal line. Can you see that? How it lines up with this green candle over here. So we're testing those lows again today. So what typically happens in the markets, you make a lower high. Typically, price will pull back and test those lows. Failure to make a higher high. Here's the last high. Okay, they couldn't beat that high. Failure to make a higher high, and you're going to run back and probably test the prior low. And that's exactly what's happening right here, right now, today. Okay, now they might get through it and make an even lower low. All right, they may get hung up and make a double bottom. We'll see what happens, okay? So there's UNG. They may just consolidate in a bear flag for another 5 or 6 months till the next winter comes. So there's UNG. Now let's take a look at precious metals. Precious metals are on fire. Okay, here's silver. Silver having a nice breakout of this range right through here. Okay, silver. Yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing right on top of the 17 EMA, but below a bearish trap. Bearish trap is the 3 EMA underneath the 8 EMA. All right, so there's silver having a nice pullback. All right, if the bulls step in here, this would be a nice place to reload. I'd be looking for a bullish engulfing candle coming right through here. Wipe out that day. That would show me that the bulls are stepping in. All right, so there's SLV. Let's take a look at GLD. GLD had a better day. GLD higher low, higher high, closing above a bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. If you look at GLD, you can see you've got a move up right here, and now you are in a bull flag. I know y'all can see that. See that? It's in a bull flag. And we're looking for this to consolidate, and then the next move we would think would be a breakout to the upside. All right, consolidate up here and then break out. We'll see what happens, but that's what we're looking at so far. So there's GLD. So we did precious metals. We did our energy because we did silver and gold. All right, let's take a look around a few other sectors, and then we're going to go look at some economic data. Okay, first sector I want to look at, SMH. Okay, so SMH, that's definitely an uptrend. All right, anybody want to challenge me on that? Anybody? Anybody? That's an uptrend. Okay, we are in an uptrend here. 3 is on top of the 8. All right, we got a higher high and a lower low. We closed inside the bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. Okay, semiconductors are still bullish. They don't look as bullish as this day, but they are still bullish. Semiconductors in an uptrend, doing well. All right, so right after semiconductors, I like to go to the XLK. That's our technology sector. Okay, it's another one. Technology is in an uptrend. Anybody want to challenge me on that one? All right, technology in an uptrend. We've got a lower low and a higher high closing below, actually between the 17 EMA and the trap. All right, can't tell if it's a bearish trap or a bullish trap, but the trap, we're closing between the trap and the 17. So there's technology. We could be seeing some sector rotation. We'll see what happens. So there's technology in an uptrend. Semiconductors in an uptrend. Let's take a look at our transports. Okay, this tail didn't happen. Just letting you know that tail didn't happen. The real tail stops right here at 69.13. All right, I had to check that out yesterday when I did the market wrap up. All right, so price action for the IYT. Lower high, lower low, closing between the 17 EMA and the bullish trap. Okay, on Friday, right here, they made a new all-time high on Friday. That's Monday, that's yesterday, today's not in there yet. But anyways, on Friday, they printed a brand new all-time high for IYT. All right, that's the transports. So transports in an uptrend. All right, so let's take a look at financials. Well, actually, let's go look at XLI. Here's our industrials. Another nice uptrend, industrial sector. Here's another nice feature about TC2000. That's why I love this. See this little hamburger up here, or the 3 slashes right there? You click that, and it gives you everything inside the XLI. Just like that. The weak ones, the strong ones, I mean, immediately. You don't have to say, hey, what's in XLI? You hit the hamburger, it gives you everything. You want the strongest one in that sector? Here's one that changed 10. You want the one with the highest percent, of course. And there you go. GNRC. See that? It gives you that right away on the fly. That's pretty fast. You don't have to go dig for it. I mean, you hit the hamburger and it shows right up. It's another reason I love TC2000 for charting. Okay, so is this an uptrend? Yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over a rising 17 EMA. That's definitely an uptrend. Anybody want to challenge me on that one? No takers? Anybody? No? Okay. All right. Got a good group today. All right, let's take XLF. All right. So here's Friday's price action candle right here. Okay, that's today, Tuesday, Monday. That's Friday. That right there was a new all-time high for XLF. Just made on Friday. It's another uptrend. Not going to ask the question again. You guys are too smart. Okay, so this is XLF. Definitely in an uptrend. Yesterday's price action. Higher low, higher high. Closing above the bullish trap. Over the rising 17 EMA. XLF doing wonders right there. Okay, so what we got so far as we looked around into the market, we drilled down just a little bit, not all the way down at the bottom, but we drilled down, and what did we see? We've got our transports are in an uptrend. Our financials are in an uptrend. Our small caps and mid caps, that's the IWM, they're in an uptrend. Our industrials are in an uptrend. Technology is in an uptrend. The market's on fire. Okay? Market is doing well. Okay? It's not time to short right now unless you want to short something that's, that's weak. But it's not time. It's better to short when the market is falling. It's much easier. Okay, I'm just saying right now, the market's moving up on the daily time frame. So we like to look for things that are bullish. All right? That's what we're looking for. If you want to see what's in the XLF, let me just pull up FNGU. All right? I wonder, they don't have the hamburger. All right. I was just looking. All right, so let's go look at some of our data for today. All right. So we had a from here. Okay, this was the October high. This was the November failure to make a higher high. See that? Remember what I was talking about when you see a failure? All right, failure to make a higher high, and chances are you're going to go and test the prior low. Okay, so they head down to test the prior low, and they get hung up on major support right through here. See this? All these tails that stick down, major support. So major support, and then they pull up and they challenge the downtrend. They bull flag through it, break out, and then they challenge the 200 SMA. That's the blue line right here. Okay, and then they move to the right. All right, you see they bull flag under. See them bull flag. See all the wicks coming up over the 200 SMA. So they grind up against the 200 SMA. Like I said, the longer they stay there, eventually they're going to break through. So here they challenge this 200 SMA, then they break out. Okay, and then they break over the lower high. This was the lower high from the downtrend right here. Because we have a lower high, we're making lower lows, a lower high and a lower low, consolidation and a lower low. Okay, so we break the lower high, and now we're in an uptrend right there. Okay? So from November all the way down to the end of the year, okay, the beginning of January, all right, was the downtrend. Then from the beginning of January up to February till Valentine's Day, we had an uptrend. Okay, didn't really make an uptrend till it got over the lower high. Okay, but after breaking that makes all of this an uptrend. Okay, now we broke over the lower high, so we're in an uptrend. But guess what happens now? We make, okay, after making higher lows and higher highs, we now make what? A lower high. And then with that lower high, we also do what? We make a lower low. So guess what? We're in a downtrend again, all right? But wait, then we came back and we break over the lower high, so that puts us back into an uptrend. All right, so here's price action. Yesterday closed with a lower high and a lower low, and you can see price action challenging those highs early this morning. All right, so there's US dollar now back in an uptrend right there. Okay, let's take a look at our economic calendar. Yesterday we had durable goods and consumer confidence. Today we got MBA mortgage applications at 7. And like Wednesday, every Wednesday at 10:30, we get a petroleum report. Okay, then we got a Fed speaker right here. And I'll put this in there if you want to. I'm put it in the chat. If you don't have it and you're visiting and you want to know how to find this economic data, I'm going to slide that right in there. So there's the link to this same page that I use. All right. So now tomorrow is the main event. Okay, tomorrow we got GDP at 8:30. All right, then jobless claims also at 8:30. Chicago PMI 945. Consumer sentiment at 10. And then we've got pending home sales index at 10. And like every Thursday at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, we have a natural gas report. Okay, no more Fed speakers. Markets are closed Friday, but they're still going to report data. So international trading goods going to get reported Friday. Personal incomes and outlays, that's going to get reported also, 8:30. All right. Retail inventories, 8:30. This one's not a market mover, but the red ones and the green ones can be market movers. And the big guy from the FOMC is going to speak at 11:30 when the market's closed. Now, I wouldn't expect him to say anything new. All right. Nothing really new has happened except for whatever numbers come out at GDP. All right, so I wouldn't expect any surprises, but we'll see what happens. All right, for earnings, these are things that can move the markets. Okay, is economic data like layoffs in employment and unemployment. Okay, layoffs that can move the market. That means people have less money to spend at the stores and services that they shop at. Okay, so that's why all of this data that we're looking at becomes important. Okay, manufacturing. Okay, are they getting the correct? I mean, are they able to manufacture at the rate that they want to manufacture at? Okay, so is there enough raw materials making it to the factories so that they can produce sellable goods and items? All right. So that's why we look at things like this. All right, so now we're going to go to look at the earnings. All right, nothing really notable. Something notable would be over $100 billion. Okay, nothing notable here. This is $8 billion. And that was Monday. Let's go to today. Okay, so we've got Cintas going to report this morning. You see the sunshine. I'll put this in there too. See the sunshine, that means it reports in the morning. You see the moon and the stars, that means it reports after the close. That'd be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so nothing over $100 billion. Okay, but they are some of these in here, something we like to watch. Paychecks, like to see them. If the market's doing that well, I like to see paychecks, make their earnings, keep revenue the same. I don't want to see a big drop in paychecks. Same with Cintas. They do employee uniforms along with stocking bathrooms and other various things that work around different corporations, because corporations, they need a cleaning crew, and Cintas helps stock those cleaning crews as well as provide uniforms for, service-related employees. So it'd be interesting to see how Cintas is doing. I mean, they should either meet or beat their revenue or expectations if the market's doing well, right? Okay, so Paychex, Cintas, Carnival's going to report. There's 42 billion right there. So all of these are going to happen before the open. So that's why we look at this. And I'm going to post this in there as well, in case you want to keep an eye on this. All right, if you don't have it, let me put this in there. All right, so these are tabs that I look at every morning because I want to be prepared. All right, I want to look at everything. I hope I don't get surprised. Sometimes I am, but this helps me from being surprised because my favorite to trade is the SPY, and I want to look at anything that might affect the SPY. So I'm looking at economic data that might affect the SPY, earnings that might affect the SPY, okay? So I went through both of those, all right? So now I'm going to go over here. This is Max Pain. Now, for Max Pain, this is based on the amount of options that expire today. These are the ones that expire today. So if a market maker could get price to 520, all right, he would, or close to it. It doesn't have to stay there. It doesn't have to close there. He just has to take it there. He could get max pain. In other words, he would inflict the most amount of pain according to the open options that expire today if he got it to 520. You can see we're already at 521. Now we look over here, the put to call ratio. We don't even have one put for every call, okay, is 98.6 or 0.98. So we don't even have a 1-to-1 put to call ratio. So there's no short squeeze on the table. All right? It's very unlikely that there's going to be a short squeeze. Okay? Not to say that they won't take it higher. We'll see what happens, all right? But we've already hit max pain overnight. So these are things that I look at in the market when I open up in the morning. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where max pain is according to the options that expire today. I want to be look at the earnings. Let's look at tomorrow's earnings. Forgot to do that. Okay, again, no notables right through here. See that? Friday's earnings. We're closed Friday. No notables there. Monday. Okay, nothing really notable. They're familiar names, right? We know them. We've heard of them before. Okay, but they're just not big enough to move the market. All right, together they could, but they're not big enough to really impact the market. All right, so we'll look for something that doesn't drag it down. Like now today we got somebody shared earlier, forget who it was. Krispy Kreme is going into McDonald's. So that's going to be pretty good news there. That's a whole lot of donuts, as he said. If I can find, Kevin did. Kevin, thank you, Kevin. Kevin said Krispy Kreme is going into McDonald's. So let's just see what D-Nut's doing. All right. Nice pop there. All right. There's Krispy Kreme. And guess what Krispy Kreme is doing? They just broke that resistance right there. Okay? I don't want that. Okay, so there's Krispy Kreme. I'd be looking for an MMRP type situation to happen on DNUT. If it comes back and tests this 1612, I'd look for this to J-hook out of there. All right, but I don't think that's it. I think it's probably on its way up to $20. Maybe by the end of close today. We'll see what happens. That's big news right there. That's a big rip. All right, MMRP, they were going down, and now you see a rip up. Okay, market makers reversal pattern. They are in a downtrend. See the trend? Just connect the tops of these candles up here. Okay, see them in a downtrend, and then all of a sudden we change directions. Market makers reversal pattern. Now it's important when you do an MMRP that it breaks through. If it's a bullish one, you want it to break through resistance and then pause and then pull back, test the resistance for support, and then J-hook out of there. Okay, so this did the first part, the igniting move. Now we wait and see where the pause comes in, and then we look for the pullback to support. Now, we may continue and then pull back to support right on top of $20. We'll see what happens, okay? I got a feeling they may even go to $20 today and then pull back and find support right on top of $19.50 right there. So this DNUT for today, all right? So there's a nice one. What I played yesterday, my favorite trade is a 10-minute downtrend. Okay, so this is my favorite trade. So I go to my 10-minute chart. This is my favorite trade, and I play options. All right, I trade options on SPY, and I particularly like options that expire on Friday. In this case, it's Thursday because Thursday's the last day of the week. I particularly like the ones that expire on Fridays because they have more open interest. It's important to me that I'm able to get in and out very easily without a lot of slippage, and I want a lot of liquidity. So I want liquidity, I want very little slippage, so I'm looking for open interest. Most often, I'm looking for open interest. I might go further in the money just to find open interest, sacrificing some of that delta, but I'd also get the open interest that I'm looking for. So I like a very high open interest when I select my options. When I select my options, I like to go 50% of my 10-day ATR. There's another reason. All right, whenever I want to set up my 10-day ATR, TC2000, I just click, edit the toolbar. Hey, I want to add something. I type in ATR, and they find it for me. It's that easy, that quickly. So, and then I can put that data right up here and track it. So I want 50% in the money. 50% of my 10-day ATR in the money. That would be my strike price, all right? Because I play options, I trade options. So I'd want to be 50% in the money. So if I'm buying a put, all right, and price is at 521, I want 50% in the money. So I'm going to pick 523 puts, okay? Because half of $4 is $2 in the money, price is at 521. All right, so I want to be up around 523 in the money. Okay, that would be in the money. At the money would be 521s. If it's a put, it's 523. If it's a call and we're at 521, all right, then I want the 519s. All right, so 50% of whatever this number is. That's the average true range. That's the 10-day ATR, 10-day average true range. Okay, so that's $4. So 50% of that in the money. Again, now I'm looking for open interest. All right. I like the ones with higher open interest, and I only want them on Friday. Okay. I only want them to expire on Friday or Thursday in this case because Friday's a holiday. All right. So I like to trade. So here we got a 10-minute downtrend right through here. See the 3? The 3 is underneath. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slide this over and kind of blow it up just a little bit so you guys can see it clearly. All right, see, I got a 10-minute downtrend. The 3 is underneath my 8. Okay. Candles are making lower lows and lower highs. That's a 10-minute downtrend. Okay, then we come back up. We test VWAP. That's a normal thing. This brown line is my VWAP. VWAP can only be seen on the intraday time frames. If I go to the daily, the VWAP will disappear. Watch. Okay, brown line's gone. See that? You have to go to an intraday time frame to see the VWAP on TC2000. Because VWAP starts out brand new every morning. All right, so we come back, we test VWAP. We can't get above it. And then we start another 10-minute downtrend. And we slide all the way down to 518.41. Okay, so that's my preferred trade. Is either a 10-minute downtrend or a 10-minute uptrend. All right, so there's SPY, 10-minute. I traded this yesterday. Sometimes I wait 3, 4, 5 days to find a trade like this. Okay? Trading's about waiting. All right? It's all about waiting and being prepared. Okay? So I spent all week, so Monday, not much happened on Monday. Okay? Tuesday, it didn't happen till the very end of the day. I got this right here, but at the end of the day was when the flush came, and that's what paid off. So sometimes this is what I like to trade. Now on that trade, you can make $4,000 or $5,000. Okay, trading this to the downside on that 10-minute downtrend. All right, but sometimes I wind up waiting all week for this move or for a move up higher. It's all about being prepared for it and watching for it to set up. Okay, so I traded this yesterday. What else did I trade? Okay, I'm going to go to sound. All right, so this is another one I traded yesterday. All right, and this was an MMRP. All right. Now, I know it's hard to see this MMRP because not all of the components are there. All right? But you see this big red candle here? Guess what? At one time, that was green. All right? So you have to use... This is why traders, if you're new, it's going to take you a while to understand the markets, okay? It's going to take a lot of experience. It's not going to happen in, 2 days, 5 days, 1 day, 2 weeks. It's going to take some time, okay? And it's going to take a lot of experience. But don't try to go it alone. Find a good room, a good mentor, somebody that can help you get there faster, okay, without spending a lot of money, all right? So on this one, this was an MMRP, and I know it's hard to see, but in the pre-market, I got to imagine at one point this was a big green candle, and none of all of this had happened. So this moved up from here up to there. So we had an igniting move that moved up. I just drew that green in because I know what I'm looking for. All right. So now from there, I put that green in and I can see we break through resistance right there. See how price came up there and we broke through resistance. Then we came back and tested it. All right. And I knew I was on a 10-minute MMRP because price went up, came back, tested the resistance for support. Okay. And then I could see 1, 2, 3 candles to the upside right there. So I played this yesterday. And if I don't have it right now, but this as a long kind of, I bought at 617. I don't expect to capture the whole move. Okay. I usually only capture probably a piece of the move. All right. Like from actually right there. Number one, I want to see bullish step in. Bulls step in. All right. I don't get the top and I don't get the bottom. What I look to trade is a piece of the middle. All right. So I'm looking to trade from here up to the prior high. That's it. Now, after I take some off, I try to leave a couple to trail and go higher. Okay. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if it's early in the day, I like to leave a couple to trail up. But if you got a bearish engulfing, it's over. See right here, you got a bearish engulfing candle. That's over for SOUN. But that's all I had was a 10-minute MMRP. Price goes up, comes back, checks the resistance for support, and then blasts off one more time, and then it's over. All right. It's been a lot of talking. Okay, Hog, you want to find the ATR? Yeah, I can help you with that. Right click, edit toolbar, hit plus, and in here you just type in ATR and ATRD right there. Did that work for you? Yeah, they should be. This is just it's not really an indicator. It's just kind of a data broadcaster. Great question, Tony. All right, let's go to SPY. So for yesterday, okay, I got a spike candle. I've got a rubber band candle right here. Okay, red wipes out green. See, red closes below the body of the green candle. 10-minute downtrend. Red candles closing below the body of a green candle, or price below the tail of a green candle. Okay, price comes down below the tail, or my red candle closes below the body of the green candle. In other words, bears wipe out bulls. Okay, green candles would be the bulls. Bears would be the reds. So bears wipe out the bulls. All right. Tony. All right, I want to see red wipe out green. So I want to see a red candle wipe out a green candle. All right, a red candle wipes out a green candle right here. Red candle wipes out a green candle right here. Yeah, but that's Heiken Ashi removes the green candles, so you can't see it. But that's what I'm looking for. Now, once you're in the trade, you can flip to Heiken Ashi. I've done that. Does that make sense? Once you're in, then you can flip to Heiken Ashi. Because then when it flips back, then you know you get out. But there's a 10-minute chart down there. All right, any questions? I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to render my video. It's a long video, so we'll see how it goes. All right? So post your questions in there. And we're about to open up in 30 minutes. I'm going to go slurp some more coffee. And I'll be back before the market opens up. All right? To answer more questions and kick off the day. All right?